All right, guys. So for today's assignment, we're going to be in the week 5 folder, Atoms Part 2. So you can follow along with me on my screen. And we're going to be in the build an atom game. So based on what I've seen from this week's assignment and the warm-ups, we need some more work on the parts of an atom and what they do, and how everything goes together with that. So that's what we're going to do today. So the goal of this assignment is to play these 3 out of the 4 games, and then take a screenshot of that game and submit it here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this link here. And it'll take you to the simulation. And we're going to start. I'm going to start here in the symbols just to show you what to do. But we are going to move on into the game section later. So the assignment is going to be here in the game tab at the bottom. So when you click on game, that's where we're going to be here in a second. But what I'm going to do is I want to show you a quick recap over everything that's going on. So that way when you go into the game, it's a smooth transition and you can get the assignment done quick. All right, so first of all, I'm going to review the parts of the atom. So the parts of the atom are the subatomic particles, and we have protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons are the red ones here. They are large, positive, and they go in the nucleus. So when I drop this here, it goes to the center. The center of the atom is called the nucleus. The nucleus is where the protons and the neutrons go. The proton is positive. It is part of the mass. And most importantly, it identifies the atom. So it helps identify what the atom is. So over here on the symbol, you're going to see this in the game later, so make sure you pay attention to this. In the bottom left corner, that is the atomic number. That identifies the atom. So that is the proton. In the top left corner, you can see that adding a proton also changed the mass. So this is the mass, and you can tell because there's a scale, and the scale represents weight. So in this top left corner, that represents the mass. And the mass is equal to the protons plus the neutrons. The mass is equal to the protons plus the neutrons. Finally, over here in the top right corner is the charge. This is the electric charge of the atom, which is what this dial means. It is towards the positive, so it has a +1. The electric charge of an atom is the protons minus the electrons. So let's go through it and kind of point this stuff out. So the neutrons are neutral. The neutrons don't have a charge, and they belong in the center of the atom. So as you can see, when I added this to the atom, the only thing that changed was this mass number up here. So you see, so the neutrons only affect the mass. So remember, again, the mass number is the protons plus the number of neutrons. The number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So 1 proton plus 1 neutron equals 2. If I add another one, 1 plus 2 is 3. Finally, the electrons are small, okay? They're smaller than the nucleus. And they don't go inside the nucleus either. So you can see I'll try to put it there, and it won't go there. The electrons are in the outside of the atom called the orbit. The electrons are the opposite of a proton. If protons are positive, heavy, and in the nucleus, the electrons are the exact opposite. They are small, light, and outside the nucleus. So protons and electrons are opposite, and that's how you figure out the charge. If you have a positive number plus a negative number, they'll balance each other out, and that's what the electrons and the protons do. So if I have 1 proton minus 1 electron, is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. If I add some more electrons, I have 1 proton, so 1 minus 1, 2, 3. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, which is now my charge. So that's how this symbol works, and it's how all these particles, protons, neutrons, and electrons, affect each other, and they affect the symbols on this chart over here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the game. And the object of this game, or this assignment, is to complete 3 out of the 4. So complete 1, 2, and 3. And this fourth one with the question marks extra credit because it's a little bit more challenging. So each one of these you're required to finish. If you get 5 stars, I'll give you extra credit. But you're required to get at least 3 stars on each one. So minimum of 3. If you get 5 stars on one, I'll give you 2 points extra credit for every 5-star that you get. So this assignment's worth 20. If you get 5 stars on each one of these, you'll get 6 extra points. And then if you get this one in addition to it, I'll give you 4 more points. So you could get a total of 30 out of 20, which could really help your grade out. So there's lots of extra credit available on this assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you how to complete each one. However, note that the ones that I go through and the questions that this simulation will give me will be different than the ones you get. They don't. If you do the same one twice in a row, you won't get the same questions. So just know that what I'm doing is not going to be the same questions that you get. But what you should notice is that the way I complete the problems is the same steps that you should take. So I'm going to start with this one on the left here. All right. And it's asking me to find the element on this periodic table. So what you can do is you can switch back and forth between these tabs at the bottom. So I have symbol, atom, and game. Notice how if I switch from this one to this one, I don't lose my progress. So here I have, you gotta take note of what's going on, and then you can go over to the atom and you can build it and get the answer. So this element has 1 red proton, 1 gray neutron, and 1 blue electron. So if I go over here and I build that, I have 1 proton, 1 neutron, 1 electron. So look up here on the element chart, and you can see that you just made hydrogen. It's the highlighted box. You can have these open too for some extra help. But what it's looking for is this one up here. So if I go back to the game and click on hydrogen, now it asks me, is it a neutral atom or an ion? So an ion is a charged particle. So it's asking, does it have a charge? So is there an imbalance between the protons and the electrons? And you can see right here that it says neutral. Because you have 1 proton, 1 electron. 1 positive, 1 negative makes a charge of 0. 0 is neutral. So I'll click neutral and then check. And I get a smiley face. Click next. All right, same thing, different type. So protons, neutrons, and electrons. So it says find the element. So 8 protons. I can go over here and I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9 neutrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8. So let's check, make sure I got that right. 8, 9, and 8. I have 8, 9 neutrons, and then 8 electrons. So you can see that up here I have oxygen. So I need to go back to the game and click on O. Is it neutral? It says neutral. And it's neutral because there's an equal amount of protons and electrons. All right, so now we're back to the same thing. That's how you do the first part. Game 2 has to do with the mass and the charge, as you can tell from the picture. So remember, the mass is from the protons plus the neutrons. So it's the sum of the total number of protons plus the total number of neutrons. So in this example, it gives us 5 protons and 5 neutrons. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Hit check, boom, done. All right, the total charge, remember, is the protons minus the electrons. And the answer you're going to get has to be the straight up answer. It's not, don't just subtract them in your head, because the positive or negative here matters. 8 minus 10. Not 2, but negative 2. So 8 take away 10 is negative 2. So you're going to make sure you select negative 2 on this chart. All right, so for this type, remember, charge is the protons minus the electrons. You only have 1 proton here and no electrons. So 1 minus 0 is 1. Positive 1, to be specific. Okay, and you can do the same thing here as well. If you get one wrong, it'll give you a frowny face and you'll get to try again. You only get one other chance before they show you the answer. So remember, protons minus electrons, 7 minus 10. Boom, boom. All right, so when you're done, it'll give you this. All right, and when you pop up your score there, you move on to the next one. So remember, bottom left corner is the atomic number. Top left corner, the atomic mass. Top right corner is the charge. So the atomic number comes from the number of protons. So the number of protons in this picture is 1. Change that to 1. And hit check. You're done. Now it's asking for the charge. Again, if you get stuck with this, you can use the symbol tab at the bottom to build it. So if I restart this, all right, I need 7 protons, 8 neutrons, and 10 electrons. All right, so you can do that here. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I have it wrong. 8, 9, and 10. All right, so it tells you right here what the number should be. Okay. Now, that is correct because, again, quick math, you could do the protons minus the electrons would give you the charge you need. So 7 minus 10 is -3. That's how you know you're right. All right, in this one, you add the protons plus the neutrons for the mass. Remember, protons plus neutrons. If you want, you can go in here and test that out, but just to save some time, I'm not going to. Protons plus neutrons is 28. There you go. All right. So when you're done, I'm going to walk you through the screenshot process. All right. There's two ways to do this. Way number one is, let me go back and change my screen sharing options so you can see my entire screen. All right. Oops. So what I want to do is hit the Windows key on your keyboard. It's the white square in the bottom left corner. Type in snip, SNIP. For you guys, it might just pop up right on the screen without typing anything. Open this up. Click New. So I'm going to click and drag to encompass everything I want to take a screenshot of. Let go. So there's a screenshot. Now, I wouldn't want to submit this because I'm not done. All right. If you left this open like this, you would lose points because you're not complete with it. All right. So make sure you're completing it first. So I'm going to click save. All right, and I'm going to make sure I give it a name. All right, then what you're going to do is you're going to go to Schoology and you're going to hit submit assignment. After you hit submit assignment, you're going to go to this box here, click file. Make sure you find the assignment, the picture you took, and then hit submit. And then that's it. The second way you could submit a screenshot is through a shortcut. So if you hold down that Windows key, which is the white square in the bottom left corner, hold down the Windows key, hold down the Shift key, and hit the S key once, it will come up with the screenshot that looks like this up at the top. You do the same thing, click and drag, let go. And then the bottom right corner, it should pop up and you have to click on it right away, otherwise you're gonna lose it. Then you save this one. So save would be up in the top right corner here for me. And then do the same thing, submit, file, find your file, and then upload it. And hit submit. All right. So that's how we do this assignment. Remember that the only 3 you're required to do are these first 3 right here. You're required to get 3 stars or better. For every 5-star you get, you will have 2 points extra credit. And then if you complete this last one, you'll get extra credit on top of that. So you could wind up with a 30 out of 20, which is really healthy for your grade. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a message on Schoology or email, or come to my office hours from 11 to 11:50 or 2 to 3 o'clock. All right, I hope this helps, and I hope this helps you improve your Adams knowledge and scores on assignments to come.